What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, he's back from the dead.
Your
Putting it
show.
on the map, yeah. Saskatoon, right next to New York. Yeah, what show, yeah.
Your show.
What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah.
Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
All right, hello and welcome into the Tuesday edition of your show. It is a short week. We've had recordings throughout the last couple of days. This place has been hopping, and thank you to everybody who's come and gone, and we look very forward to seeing all the new shows that are about to pop up, and a lot of fun, a lot of friendships have been made and continue to grow because of this incredible, fantastic place, and we're so thankful and grateful because we are in a position to do that, and it's very, very cool. I am your overweight host, Gary. This is your show, still, as far as we know, the only show going live. I just looked at the Maggie cam, you're on it again. The only show going live 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, scheduled viewing, just like we grew up with, originating out of Saskatoon. And it's such an honor and privilege to be able to say that because no one else is doing it. When you're doing what no one else is doing, you're being seen and people notice. And that's a very cool feeling. We got LB on the ones and twos today. He's been in here with me basically I feel like we've been living here together the last 2 days. It's been a pretty wild, exciting time. But I say when I look at the Maggie cam, I know that he is here. But she went a little wonky on you, buddy. You must have opened a hot rod again, didn't you? Any hot rods in there? Oh, boo. Okay, that's pretty good. What he's messing with right now, and this is, we talk about the term all the time. When you go live, you do a lot of dancing. That's one of the downsides if you're not good at dancing. I'm not good at dancing both on the D floor and or in the chair, but I do know that this is why you're here. This is the Maggie cam. Check this out. Boom. Right there. The magnificent steed doing her thing yet again. Won 5 awards already, looking for more, as she is our how many months, whatever it is, every month that we've been operating, she's been our employee of the month because she is such a maven when it comes to both sales and making your heart melt. Here's some more proof. Oh, now it's going to get real serious. See, you did it again. What do you got there? What are you teasing her with?
Nothing.
Is that, oh, okay. I thought you might have had a pizza crust. The Maggie Cam for our fantastic friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street. They are your pet's natural grocer. When you walk through those majestic doors, boy, oh boy. Not only your life gets better, but your pets as well. Whether you're looking to get a nice, beautiful spa day in, you can do that in their state-of-the-art cleaning facility right in the back, which is right next to their fridges. And now, why would they have fridges, you ask? Well, because they have all the foods you need to get your pet into a raw diet if you want to start feeding them the raw food. It's all there for you. Oh, my, she's got little boops. Give her a boop. Give her a boop. Somebody boop that nose. Oh, no, now we're losing LB. I told you, it's been a long couple of days. Oh, she's got a beautiful tail, too. Look at that thing. Look at her go.
Poofy.
So you go from the raw food to all the normal foods. They have all the brands you can think of all along the walls, okay? And then you get into the toys. They got sections of toys. They got entire walls covered in different toys for your animals. They have treats galore, buckets full, like overflowing to the point where Margaret walks in there and she just tries to help herself. And Mike and or Rochelle, who you will see when you go in there, they're always so kind. The kindest human beings you can ever run into. And they always just let her have one because they're just those type of people. And I always try to scold her, like, no, she's Maggie. Of course she can have a treat. Then you get into the collars and leashes. The buckle-up collars, so hot right now. They're the Hansels of the collar industry. Matching leashes for all your favorite shows and cartoons. That's all there as well. Poop cleanup. They got pooper scoopers. They got all the other things you need. Basically, you're getting the point now. Every single thing you need for your pet is there at Pet Planet on 8th Street. It's amazing. It's incredible. And they are also open after hours and on weekends, thanks to Kirsten and Chris. So be sure to go by, say hello, and continue to support Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Well done, Margaret. Very, very, very nice. See, and we are so fortunate here. You're seeing different businesses scroll along on the bottom there. And these businesses, they're not just businesses. They're people that agree with us that the world needs more love. The world needs to understand that we need to get back to putting others before ourselves. It's a whole movement, and everyone here, including our friends at Pet Planet on 8th Street, understand that. And that's what you're jumping on board for. We will promote the hell out of you because we believe in you, because you are a great person, business, and place, and we want to support that. That one, that's a really good one right there. Nickel Plumbing and Heating, I hear those guys do great, great work. With that in mind, it is time to get into the Tuesday edition. And around here we have, dare I say, traditions that have sort of moved in to, well, I guess their own hosts and their own shows under one show umbrella. It's a very unique situation that we have going on. And I was trying to be real cute with it, but I realized we still have the CCO set up on my stream deck as Commander Cookup Podcast, best Magic the Gathering podcast in the universe, records here all the time. And they share all these cool little knickknacks and paddywhacks that we love to show off. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's now time to present to you today's show. We have one man, and we have another man. They're from a whole bunch of things, but even more importantly, we have an intro that we can play to show it off. Welcome to the All That Angst Podcast!
What up, dog?
You guys can't hear it, but there's a lot of bears going on.
Okay.
Very fun. Uncle Mike, Matt from all the bands.
I forgot about the
Oh,
I'm going to go back to this and show you the transition I set up.
oh, okay,
Oh.
perfect. Here we love transitions.
This looks good.
This is why we go live, baby.
No.
Let's see what he's got. Show me what you.
Oh.
What the heck was that?
Laser
That was almost
swipe.
like the
Slimer. That
like,
was a Slimer swipe.
That was something.
and like the
Hey?
Scandinavian kind of cross,
yeah, it
like
was
flag, like
offsets. Yeah.
That was pretty sweet. I'll give you
Amazing.
that one.
How
LB.
does
I'll
himself
give it.
every time.
It's what he
man.
always does. It's sort of his thing.
I never would have predicted
Get
that.
right into it. That was.
That looked like a custom one or
Yeah.
something. There was
Jeez.
color.
I'm not joking when I say he's been living here. He's getting ready. He's got himself not only the viewing room, the greatest movie review show in the history of any movie review shows, but he also is embarking on a journey that I never thought would take place in these hallowed grounds, if you will. But he is starting a rider show called the 13th Melon. And this show is it's a little pre-show going into the game. Then you watch the game with us. He dragged me into it. He's going to turn me into a rider fan again. I said, that's
like
a
it.
goal. We can aim for that. And then we watch the show, and you watch the game on your TV, and then have us on the Apple Pad or the iPods or whatever it is you're working with. And then you just sort of enjoy it together, and we interact throughout the game, talk about plays and all that stuff. It's a really cool idea. We got a bunch of people on board. It's going to be a really exciting thing. But more than anything, I've noticed that it's really stoked the fire inside LB's soul for creating. He's creating graphics for all these other news shows. He's putting everything together, and he's doing really cool shit. So I'm really, really proud of him that he's making all this stuff because we have so many ways to show it all off.
When does LB sleep? Is that a thing?
I don't think he does.
What?
Nice.
He's even good at
Impressive.
sleeping. He's even good
How-
at sleeping, bro. Ridiculous. He's only 19.
9 hours.
See, the one, I guess, the one thing he's not really good at is his body's broken. He's got the body like maybe a 90-year-old. Like his knees are all buckled up, his neck's all jickety janked. He's only 19, but he's walking around like me. So you can be the guy that builds canoes by hand. You can fly planes. You can create these incredible content creation studios, but you still can't cheat the body,
True.
which is something to think about.
I'm aware.
The All That Angst
Well,
Podcast is a show that we do, and you can find it audioly on all of the places where you get your audios. It's also taken over on these Tuesdays, and we always have a lot of fun. Before we get into anything else, I do want to say thank you to you for getting us in touch with, well, I guess for getting Super Nintendo Anderson in touch with us, as it looks like we may be slowly on the road to starting a dungeon and D&D game in here.
Sweet.
Oh.
And he wants to
Nice.
dungeon master. And I just wanted to say thank you for because I know he watches because of you. And so to have another guy come in and another potential show that we could be getting into is very, very cool.
Yeah,
So I
that's
want to
great.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. That's
Very,
good to
very
hear
good
that
stuff.
that's moving forward.
Absolutely. Speaking of, got a couple of birthday jabronis here. I had no idea they were so close. I should have known. I did not. Saturday for you.
That's correct.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wednesday for you.
Yep. Yep.
and you guys both celebrated in very different ways. I think we can say. Let's go ahead and before we get into yours, because yours is going to be pretty wild. How did your birthday go, old friend?
It was good. The actual day was pretty normal, I guess. You know, just
You promised me you were going to try to get a little time off.
Well, I did, and then some things kind of fell through. I was supposed to be getting gravel and a skid steer, and then that fell through, and so I shifted. You know, and I went into work. I did leave work early,
That's a birthday present.
and actually I had a massage, which was kind of a bonus thing. My brother had one, and he wasn't gonna make it or something. He's like, "Well, do you want to take it for him?" I was like, "Hells yeah, I do."
Free massage.
So that was good. Well, it wasn't
birthday.
I
Well,
still paid for
Sorry,
it.
that's my
but-
girl math
yeah.
coming through again.
Yes,
Someone
yeah.
paid for it, but you didn't.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. I'm learning a lot about girl math now from our
Yeah,
friends
and
at bedtime.
then it was kids. Wednesdays are always a busy night, so the kids have multiple activities. So it was just run around doing that. But then kind of celebrated on the weekend with a couple buddies and barbecue and a couple beverages and
Living the dream.
Yeah,
What'd you shoot?
ate some cake.
Tell everyone what you shot. of course.
-4.
What?
Yeah, I mean, and this is on Turkey Vulture Hollows. This is like a chip and
No, it's a majestic
It is,
run
yeah.
of
It is.
just hills.
It's all pitching wedge,
beauty,
and that's it.
pins,
But it's great.
golf terms.
I did win. so
Happy
that's
birthday.
Something. Yeah, thank
At
you.
4 under par.
Yeah.
You're ready for the tour.
And then there we go.
Amazing.
And then just work around the acreage. It was a great weekend
And
of
to be
just
fair, you
doing
love
stuff.
doing that stuff.
Yeah,
That's good.
rain or shine,
He's out there.
I'm spending time.
Nice
doing
rhyme.
that. Thank you.
I was going to
Gotta
keep
rhyme
going,
it.
but
Yeah.
we could do this all day down by
Yeah.
the bay, mixed up with a clay. You know how it goes. You, my friend, you had an epic birthday.
It has been a whirlwind since Friday, like getting all of our stuff together. We drove out, and I always find that because we had the jam Friday with Into Eternity, and the show was Saturday, and the jams the night before. I always find these ones sometimes for me are almost more pressure than the show itself because. Say things don't go well on that day just before. It's not like there's any time to tweak anything.
Right.
So then like
You are
the
what
mood
you
can
are.
the mood can go really sour really
Oh, for
quick.
sure.
But
Yeah.
everyone, gear, it was working properly, and it was a good rehearsal of all the songs. And this set, I feel like it's like 75 minutes, 16 songs total. Well, the Terminator intro we're not playing, but 15 songs or whatever.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's like 75, 77 minutes of
Such a
music
good
and,
intro, by the way.
and lots of like, clean tones and all this stuff. So it's a bunch. But yeah, that first jam went good, and then we went into the next day, which was my birthday. Me and Aaron had a hotel and stuff, which is pretty sweet. It was like a minute from the exchange, so that's
Nice.
pretty sweet. We got up, went to like an antique shop and didn't
Antique-y.
find anything great. Had a fat burger breakfast that
Oh,
was pretty
hell yeah.
tasty, and then we did sound check at 2 to 3 or whatever. And again, that's always nice because our jam room isn't the greatest with Into Eternity. The sound's kind of dead,
Yeah.
and so when you get up there and you start hearing everything mic'd up and the stage monitors,
In that environment.
yeah, we started with our first beginning of the end. That was the first song we kind of tested out, and it's got these like kind of sounds. And like when me and Troy, our bass player, looked at each other and we're like, "Oh man, this sounds." We knew it was going to be a good night, but yeah, just so good. And it was kind of funny. We had went out just to Bushwhackers for kind of like
I've been there. I like
yeah,
that place.
Tim wanted to take me out for a birthday kind of thing, and I generally am not that hungry before shows because I'm a nervous guy, and I got
we've talked
I got
about
my
this a
anxiety,
lot.
so
yeah.
and I'm kind of a child as well at heart, so like I got my chicken tenders,
Hell
and
yeah.
and I had my
Tendies.
iced tea, and
Perfect.
and that was what I had before. That was great. And I was talking about like how last year I had the show with Stryker on my birthday, and they brought a cake out to me or whatever, and it was pretty good or whatever.
Every
Anyways,
time you do a birthday show, man, you're always getting big cakes.
I know.
It's a
So
good deal.
we'll take it to the show, the night of the show, and it was because it was sold out, and everyone kind of knows how to get in, So Xandra had like extra security at all of because she doesn't want like fire marshals
Yeah.
coming, and that
Oh,
could
for
be
sure. You don't
So,
want to be
like,
breaking the law.
yeah, it was, and they had the professional lanyards and stuff made up, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, sold out show, awesome, and all ages was cool too. Like throughout the night, there's like kids with like gun muffs on or whatever,
yeah.
and there's one right up front or whatever, this goober, and I forget how Tim said it, but we're like, get him on stage. So like they got him on stage, and Stu kind of has him like Simba.
Lion King,
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then Tim's also like, because Luca, Tim's kid now is like 15, 16.
Oh, yes.
And so he's got like a stash and a mullet now. And Tim had mentioned on stage, he's like, I used to do this with Luca, and now he's, here with a mullet and a stash.
Man.
Anyways, yeah. Oh, yeah. The jam before, Tim was saying like Surrounded by Night, that's our ballad, and that's where I kind of start with a clean, do the clean part.
Sweep the arpeggio.
And Tim had said, I want you to play that intro 2 times up front, on the stage, and then I'll come in behind you. And I was kind of like, that's weird to change the song. Like, but I was like, whatever, you got something up.
Fishy's going on here.
So, and then also like Aaron kept on asking for like a lighter because we had a candle at our hotel, and it didn't really like click to me why. So
the gullibility,
yeah,
man, so
I make
relatable. I'm the same way,
yeah,
man.
to Surrounded by Night, and I go up and I start playing the song, and everyone's looking at me, and then the second time through, still none of the band joined in with me, and then Tim's like, "Cool, stop," or whatever. Aaron shows up with this cake that Tim had made for me. It's got my face on it, and it's like all black ice cream, and they like sang for "He's a jolly good fellow," but the whole time I was just like anxious for Aaron, because we've got all these like cords and cables on stage and like all this stuff, and she's like trying to hold this cake and display it to the crowd.
Well, luckily she knows her way around a stage. It's not her first.
Yeah.
It evens out. It evens out. I see.
But yeah. So it's just the second year in a row I've had a cake brought to me on stage. I just feel like just so blessed. Yeah. No. Yeah. It was awesome. But yeah, again, just great show, and everyone knows these songs, especially in Regina, because they're hometown heroes. So like everyone's singing along to every song, which is cool. And then obviously we're all bozos and didn't even think about having an extra song, for an encore. So like after the show, we've got our outro playing, and you hear one more song, and I think Jim, the drummer, he's just like, well, I think we're just gonna have to do 3-dimensional or something. I'm like, man, I haven't played that song in like 6 years. Like, there's no chance. Like,
my birthday, I'm not prepared.
Yeah, the only option would be just like playing another song over, which none of us. So we just kind of went out there to kind of let people know, people know that it's not appreciate it, but yeah, it's not gonna happen. But so just awesome. Then within 12 hours of that finishing, we were in Siemens jamming with Untimely Demise, because we're kind of just comboing all of this stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Menza was coming in from Winnipeg. Oh, yeah. The directions that Brian gave us from Regina to Siemens are just ridiculous, where he's like, go for 20 minutes, and then you'll see Mother Goose with her eggs, and you drive for 20 seconds. And then it was just pretty funny. And, yeah.
You found it?
We found it. We made it. I think we were assuming that Mother Goose was going to be like kind of like one of those like big eggs, or like something like that. But it literally was a goose sitting on its eggs, like a real live goose. Yeah. And we're like, okay, we weren't looking for that. We were looking for a big sign. Yeah, that was good. Mike didn't end up making it in from Winnipeg in time, and at that point I'd already been gone for 3 days, and we wanted to get home to the cats and stuff. So we just made that a 3-person jam, and then did the additional jam in Saskatoon the next day on Sunday. So that was good. And Erin got a ton of great footage, which is cool because she was just in there with the camera and stuff. And it's kind of neat because cameras are so good these days that, before it would just be like fart sounds, if you had a camera that close to... Yeah, well, exactly. But yeah, so as she's going to like the drums, you can hear more of the isolated drums, and she had a shot of me, and you can hear the vocals more. But just an amazing time. What a whirlwind, and then got back, and it's funny because don't get me wrong, I love rock and roll. I love everything about it. It's so fun. It's a ton of work. And when we're away from the cats for, a long enough period, we just start thinking about, we want to be snugging. So I said, like, I need a shirt like Born to Snug, Forced to Rock or something like that. That basically, I guess. And then after the jam yesterday, I had to go right over to my parents and do barbecuing because it was like my aunt and uncle's 50th. So I was right into queuing.
Dude.
And here we are today.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I'm exhausted just
Yeah,
from hearing that.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
3 different jams in 3 different cities, and
But
yeah.
it's normal for you. That's the strange part is you're used to that, right? Like no matter how crazy it is, it's still it's a part of how you operate.
Yeah, I'm used to it, but I still, because it's been almost a year since we've played really our last set of shows. So I'm always that guy where it's not like an imposter syndrome, but I do feel like, because I've just been like working at the dump, and not playing. When you're on your 10th day of tour, you feel like you're
Right.
locked in and you feel like the rock star or whatever. But
Yeah.
when you've just been at work for a year and then you're doing that first show, you're always a little nervous, but everything went well. It was just, we played well, the gear worked well, and I feel blessed.
That's the word.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, that's how we all feel when you're this busy, but you're doing everything that you love, and it's all about your passions and helping others and just doing good things. Everything we talk about at the start of every show. When you're doing all that, man, it makes it all worth it.
It does, and in that like high school reunion vibe. The high school reunion vibe of like just everyone from Regina, because we've been playing there for 15, 17 years now. So you see some of the fans that came to the first Untimely Demise shows, and then we're seeing, bands that they initially were, 15, 16 up and comer bands, and now they're starting to become the older guard. It's nice. I talked to the guys from Augurium. They're a cool band from Regina. One of the guys he like works on set stuff in Vancouver, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was talking to them, and I'd really like to, whether it's a Zoom or having one of them come to the studio here and just talk, kind of band stuff. I think that could be really cool. But just built a lot of relationships, like even like Stu Block, the singer from Into Eternity. Like I've been playing music with him for a little bit now, but it's always like we'll come in, practice, and everything's so crazy. Where it was nice, I had a lot of good conversations, and so did Aaron with him, and we were kind of chatting after, and he opened up more to me, and I opened up more to him, and it's just nice to see these relationships flourish, and those are the things to me. That's the wealth. Like I'm
We say it all the time,
accumulating
man.
wealth in
We say it
relationships
all the time.
Yeah.
It's not about the money.
No.
Like, money to us is seeing our friends succeed.
Yeah.
I've said that over and over again, and it's truer, more true every single time as everything continues to grow. And it's very, very, like I say, it just feels really good to know that you're helping people and you're entertaining people, and at the same time, you're basically making someone else's life better. And like, well, that's what it
Whilst
comes down
making
to.
your
Whilst
own
doing
life
man.
more.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's the pocket. I've used the term being in the pocket probably about 5 times in the last 2 days.
It's a good term.
It's a great term because it's all because people ask after we had a couple new shows come in, and after the show they say, hey, what do you think? And I'd say, well, it took about 2 or 3 minutes, then you were in the pocket, man. Like you were in that spot where it's a full conversation. It's not an interview. It's not you guys talking around each other. Like you're both in that conversation.
And that's always the best, because I think everyone, especially when we've did this a few times, you can always tell when we're kind of like doing a bit or a shtick, or when there's an actual conversation happening, and it's
cool
the
thing.
real ones that always hit
Every
home.
time they always shine through. So now looking forward, we got another event coming up. A show,
The
yes.
25th, yes. And that one I'm really, really getting excited for, because it's been such a long time. Ravenwitch, has it been June 7th? Yeah, that's in Black Hat. But has it been a couple years since we've played? So Ravenwitch hasn't played in a couple years.
Was it since the birthday one back?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the stuff.
Yeah, we had
Stupid
one.
Noel moving with.
Yeah.
We love you,
but
Noel. Just
thank
joking, we love
thank
you.
goodness. Can I?
He told me.
He
I don't
told me,
know.
like,
I
it
don't
sounds
know.
like fall. It sounds like fall. It's official. Like, so he's coming back, and he's in the band. Like, we got the band back together.
I already told him. I said you also have a studio at your disposal at any point, and he's already got ideas for stuff to do in here. So
he would be perfect. Yeah, yeah.
like you said, it's
he's
Wayne's
coming
World,
home.
man.
This
It's
is
Wayne's
your,
World.
it's your home.
It's your home. You have to go to your home. So the June 7th show, and do you stay in the zone? Like when you do something like that, are you like good, or do you still need to go back and get everything all together?
With regard, like, are you saying like because I'm kind of like up to speed now? Or
yeah,
are you saying?
like, does that carry over? Do you have
I
any
would say
carryover from
it
that?
is, yeah. So this was the first one, the hardest for like anxiety
Yeah.
and self-doubt stuff that we all as artists deal with. So now that I've did that, it's like when the June 7th, it's like, well, I've already just played a sold-out show in Regina 3 weeks ago, so there'll be less pressure. And it's kind of nice, too, because I like Raven Witch is the band where we're all in Saskatoon, so we get a jam more. It's not like the other bands where you're kind of tightening up
Connecting
before
all
the
the
show.
dots
So
and- yeah.
it's easier to have that chemistry. So, and with Raven Witch opening up the night, it's nice too, because, you know, again, on my birthday show, you know, there was a bunch of bands. It was a 5-band show that night. So like the whole birthday, I'm kind of just warming up, you know, drinking water, trying to stay focused, and, you know, and by the time you play, it's, you know, late at night, and whereas like I like just starting the night playing, and you don't have to be anxious for 4 hours before you go on.
I know that. I know exactly what you're talking about. The anxiety of watching everyone around you go before it's your turn to go. It's like, man, oh man, and then build up and
And it's kind of like before, I feel like I never really liked crushing tons of beers before shows, but you know, you'll have a couple before. But now I'm kind of just like, I like having a beer kind of right around the time I'm going, but I just, anything that I just don't want to screw myself over by, say you have 3 or 4 beers, now all of a sudden you get on stage and you're like, oh man, my dexterity isn't what it should be. And then
What
it's like,
happened to my
and the
hand?
fact that I did that to myself would piss me off. So,
And not only that, the fact of letting everyone else down.
well, exactly.
That's our biggest fear. Every day when I come on here, my biggest fear is I'll let you down, you the viewer, you someone who comes here to be entertained. And it's so easy to turn that into, oh man, I suck. I can't believe I did that. And that's what taught, at least in my case, the importance of being able to take one show and move on. Don't let any of it linger. Go right into the next show. It's a new day. It's a new show. And we're lucky here where it's a new cast every day too, which helps a lot.
Oh, totally.
Differentiates big time. So it really feels like we have 5 different shows going on at the same time every day, which is very, very cool. So hanging out with the All That Inks podcast crew. We got Uncle Mike from All the Products, Matt from All the Bands, as they both celebrated some birthdays. We were about to get into, because I want to double back to last week's show because it was so incredible. But before we do that, we're going to get a live read in here and tell you more about our buddy Mobley Llorente. Live reads, man. I love these live reads. All right. And I was told as well that we could not spice them up, but give them a little refresher, as in, you know, you got to make it different sounding because you are saying one a day. So I've been trying to garify them a little bit. Sounds so stupid. Garify them.
No, it
What have I
doesn't.
done? No.
I think it sounds amazing.
Garify them would have been the proper term. Garify. It sounds like, hey, Gary. Anyways, who were we talking to the other day that was telling me, was that you, LB, that showed me the video of the guy that was talking about the name Gary? And he was like, what kind of adult would name their child Gary? It's such an old name. That wasn't you? Okay, must have been Dragon. Anyways, there's a reason that the name Gary has a bunch of groups on the internet trying to save the name, begging people to name their kids Gary because it's going extinct. So we get into that a little bit more. Right now, as I go and talk about Mobley, I start talking about my name. No, we are here for him. Well, I work with this guy right here. Well, if you're looking to buy a home, he's got your back. Okay, Mobley Llorente with TMG The Mortgage Group works with multiple lenders to find the best financial options, even if you're self-employed, have non-traditional income, or face credit challenges. All of those. I knock them out. That's all me right there. It's crazy stuff. He's got you covered, man. His services are completely free, and he's here for you from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Whether you need refinancing, a mortgage renewal, or just expert advice down the road, he will always be here to help. Mobley Llorente, mortgages made simple. Give him a call or text him, 306-370-5804. That is a live read. And it's a great way for us to tell people not just about you, but about your business, what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish. It's very, very cool. And we like to do that for you. It's real simple. All you got to do is just send us an email. How you guys feeling about this song? I will say, I had our first time ever where I just stopped. I believe it was the Friday Fun Table. Stepped up to be the first one to take it over. I stopped halfway and let them finish.
Ooh.
I felt like I was in front of 100,000 in a stadium. The crowd was singing. It was incredible. So, anyways, just to remind everyone, it's a very simple song. Okay, very easy. We'll just get through it. Just send an email to 1, 2, 3, Oh, contact@dufferinav.com. That is the email. This is the theme song. Pretty good.
Ooh,
Pretty
along.
good.
that was
Pretty good. Maybe we'll get the words up on the screen so everyone can sing along.
Contact@dufferinav.com.
God, he's amazing. Voice of an angel.
Oh, yeah,
I am.
Contact@dufferinav.com.
How many people do you think we can fit in the tooth booth in there? The audio recording booth.
I'd say 6.
That's what I wanted to do. I want to do like a Live Aid type situation.
All I know
Guys
is
all
I
singing
want
it.
one person to have one of those comical clown butts, so like when it comes out.
Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me.
That's so good.
But that's for a later date.
Yeah, see, we dream big here because we make dreams happen, and that's the really cool part about all this. We also love to toss these. Anyone want to toss with me? On 3, 1, 2, 3, get out of here. Oh, there was
You gotta
lag.
get out of here.
Hey, we got lagging. We were dead on. I'm gonna protest that one because I feel like it was perfect timing.
Oh, did we have some lag?
A
It
little
hurt,
laggy.
it hurt
A
just
little
as
laggy.
much. Oh, yeah.
What's that? No, okay. Head engineer LB says, no, you're dumb. Don't ever say that. We also got a website. I know. I was ad-libbing. It was the tone that said I was dumb.
It's that you are not smart.
Didn't say you're dumb. It's say you're not smart. It's really easy. We also got a website that even a dummy, not smart guy like me can make his way through. That's why we love it so much. And I just got a text from Royal Andrews as well. The guy that built this thing, you're not going to believe this. The
No.
third week in a row now. He's
No.
had to bail
No.
on so we have a weekly meeting here. We have, Anders, if you're watching this, we have so many people that need to talk to you about stuff. And I kept saying, no, this Tuesday he'll be here. And he can't make it. So I'm going to just rage toss this now. Take that, Royal Anders.
Get out of here. Go on,
Anyways,
get.
So it's going to be another week without our sweet Royal Anders. I don't know what Margaret's going to do. She's going to lose so much weight from the lack of treats that she's getting. It's just raging. It's like, not today. And one more on this while we are here because it is the hottest Twitch studio. We call it the Hansel of Twitch studios, you guys. Just became affiliated over at twitch.tv/Dufferin Ave Media. That's where you can find us. Between Brooksia, Gaming with Brooksia on Monday. Then Uncle Brando and Gary Get Good at Gaming on Tuesday. And that is today, but we had the studio booked up, so that got moved to tomorrow. So Wednesday, 1:30 will be a new episode of Brando and Gary Get Good at Gaming playing Super Ninja Boy on the Super Nintendo. Then Friday night, Brando and Gary Get Good at Gaming with guests. We'll be back at, I believe, Star Tropics for the original 8-bit Nintendo. That's if our buddy Smitty can make it. If not, we'll be back into Final Fantasy VI. I'm learning Final Fantasy VI for the first time. I'm playing it. I'm loving it. I've always wanted to play it. In case you want to know what kind of a game it is, all I need to say to you, and this is what everyone always says about FF6, you can literally suplex a train. I suplexed a train on the stream the other day. It was incredible.
Those games were just always felt like they were above my skill level.
Me too, that's why
but
I
that
never
has a
played
good soundtrack, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. They're literally, like, it's Uncle Brando is one of his favorite games of all time. And I believe the Japan Philharmonic Orchestra, or one of like the big like national orchestra, covered like the biggest Final Fantasy songs.
That
They said
is
it was
so
like one of the greatest performances in the history, not just like gaming music, but like music as a whole. It's so beautiful and very cool. So all that and so much more. That's sort of the schedule we got. And we got more people coming in for more Twitch streams as it continues to grow. Hence why it is the Hansel of Twitch streams. You want to try to toss it up or you want me to give it a go? What do you think? We always have fun. Oh, are we going to lift it? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Look, Uncle Mike.
Wow, where did
Look at
they
that
go?
thing go, man?
Where do they go?
Crazy.
I'm out of breath here.
All right, you guys, back to business. Last week, for a lot of us, it was a monumental time. LB, you want to get a little bit more on here? Get me on this camera. Over there.
Oh,
you
yeah.
go. Look at that. Unopened cassette from our friend Gary with 2 R's. Gary Mason from OWC was in the house, and he left this for us, and I will never open it, and it makes me so happy. I wanted to sleep with it, but I didn't because that's weird. But I really wanted to because it's just such an incredible thing that I never thought in a million years I would ever not just see, but have in my possession. You know what I'm saying? In our possession, not mine, our possession. This is our set, and we put it right there for now.
I like how he kind of like sneaked. He was just like, I got a little something for you too.
Like out of nowhere.
Of course you came with
it's
swag.
Like, come on, man. Unbelievable. So with that, I don't know about you guys. I sort of mentioned it at the start of the show a little bit before we got on air. That I was, as is the case every time, I thought about 100 different questions after we were done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was looking back on it, and my first thought that keeps popping up into my head is what other band do you know that could go out and write a song about jocks, go into a song about the most beautiful day they've ever been a part of, and then from there go to a song about literally pissing your pants. Like, I wet my bed and it's rarely for fun. People laugh when they see it going down my leg. Like that to a song about a guy named Martin who drives a fast car. Like the range of all, like I wanted to ask him, but he sort of answered it when he was talking about it because he's like, I'm not the writing guy, but the way that all came about, it just makes perfect sense to me that I would be a huge fan of a band like this because they cover all of those different things through incredible songs.
And like he was saying too, every song was kind of like a snapshot where
Exactly.
they would write this song and then record it or whatever, and that was kind of
That was
just
just it.
that's the snapshot of that
That's what
time
we're
or whatever.
talking
So
about
that's
this
why
time.
you do get that variety
Yeah.
of themes.
And then when he talked about like the sort of the country side of things, and I look back, it's like, oh man, like the baby song. Like literally the breakdown, baby, oh baby. Like it's right there in the middle of this song that I know every word to. And to hear him say, oh yeah, that's because like one of the guys in the band is a big country guy. Like,
Yeah.
well, that makes perfect sense. So you go from like a blast beat to a little country breakdown, and then right back to harmonies, like, go away, and then and the chanting stuff he was
Yep.
talking about. Like all of it was there, and just it took me a couple of days to wrap my head around it all. It's like, man, he answered all the questions that I would have had for him anyway without even knowing.
Right.
And
Just a
that's what
normal
blew my
conversation.
mind. Yeah. Which was so crazy to me.
And I like how he was just so like every time I'm like, so I noticed you brought in distortion with your bass. He's like, that's just because I bought a distortion pedal, or I was just really
What's
trying. I'm
the
like,
meaning
So
behind
simple.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's right down to his tips to kids. Like, if you want to make music, go ahead and do it. But don't do it half-assed or do it half-assed. Just do it. That's the whole theme of the day was just do it.
yeah,
We're
they-
Nike in here, bro.
I think that because that's the thing. Everyone just always feels like there's like so many steps because it's a long way to the top if you want to
Right.
rock and roll.
Yep.
It feels like there's all these barriers before you can actually be in a band or officially call yourself like in a band.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you're doing it and you write a song or whatever or play a show, like you're a band. That's all you need to do.
That's it. And if that's your goal, then yeah, you made it. Now what? Now you better get good.
Yeah. Or I guess the real key is finding out what do you want out of it? Whether for me, it was always wanting to have, I had said right at the start, I want to have that stack of CDs like Megadeth, where I've just got a collection of awesome music that I wrote over the years. But like some other people might say, I want to play this specific show or play in front of this amount of people but just like find the goal. Cause then you know what you need to
What's
achieve.
your phone to get to? Like I just keep going back. Like the Pee Your Pants song. I wish I knew the names to all these songs. Like
You're doing a lot
I wish
better
I didn't
than-
have to
than
go
me.
so bad. The bad thing is I did. When you tickled me, I lost control like a little 2-year-old kid. Like it's so immature, but so at the same time elevated. Like telling a story about a kid pissing his pants. But at the same time, it's like it's not just about him pissing the pants. It's about his journey and trying to avoid it and get through it and how he just doesn't care anymore. Like every song is a story. You can go so deep into stuff like this. Then to hear him say, yeah, it's just we were thinking about that day, so we wrote down when that was a song.
Right.
To one person, it's everything, and to the other guy who literally made it, it was just an afterthought.
Yeah.
There it goes. So, anyways, Gary Mason from Oswald's Walking Connection. Thank you again for blessing us with your presence and insanely handsome, beautiful prints. And hopefully, moving forward, we'll get to talk to him again because that was just so much fun. And great producing by you guys. I used to be a guy who would call people from a phone and say, hey, you want to come on this show and talk to this person about this? And it's the hardest thing to do in the world because a lot of times you either don't get picked up, don't answer, or they'll just say no. And you go through it and you go through it. And as a job, like I know you guys can appreciate this. If that was your only job was to just get guests every week for this show.
Oh yeah, it's a lot
It's
of logistical
crazy
stuff.
how much stuff you got to go through. So to get that was just amazing.
And for me too, because I have so much respect for Gary's artwork, and then for Gary Mason, the man himself, I didn't want to bring him on here and then just not know my shit, with the interview and make it look clumsy. So that was why last week was like the most pressure I think of any time I've been on this show so far.
Oh, for sure. yeah, we set those standards, and like I posted a little clip from it on the internet, and I just said like this is one of those rare times where meeting your idols like works out.
Yeah.
It was just so cool, and to be able
Well,
to like
he's
tell
just
people
so
is-
easy to talk to. Like I knew that, like when we first came up with this, were we at the yard in Flagon, or I had mentioned I was doing this thing.
I believe it was at the yard because I remember that was the first time you told me. I got super excited.
Because they were telling us about their trip to Italy, and I'd kind of mentioned that we had this show, but it's just at the beginning of it or whatever. And it's not that he was skeptical, but he just obviously wanted to know what it was about. But I was just thinking because while I was at the yard, he's just so fun to talk to and has so many stories. I'm like, you would be perfect to be on the show.
That's it. Very, very cool. Uncle Mike, I would like to now ask you a question. Music-wise, we got any shows that we missed? I think that's sort of becoming the thing around here. What shows we missed
it's
this week?
not so much what we're going to; it's what we missed, I guess. Sad.
What a great gimmick that is.
Sad but true. I guess I think it was the same weekend as that Dayglow show. So like the first weekend in May, Random Killing was at Black Cat. I think that was the Friday night, and then Dayglow played Amigos the Saturday night.
So happy they're still going. That's very cool.
But yeah, I feel like I saw something. I know Propaganda is touring, but it looks like it's all East Coast.
know.
They're, like we're still
Come on,
due. They
man.
still
That's
owe
annoying.
us. I mean, not
Let's
that
pull
they
it
owe
over.
us
There we
anything,
go.
but
That hurts so
I get upset because they've had two, like the COVID show was canceled,
Yeah.
the rescheduled show was canceled,
man.
and then they played Regina, I think, as part of like
That
the
coming
makeup
back.
of the
Yeah.
makeup
And they
kind of
skipped us
thing,
again.
and they didn't play Saskatoon, and but what do you do?
Speaking of
What
propaganda,
do you do?
Merbs and Vanessa got me the at peace vinyl.
Oh, nice.
So it's
That's sweet.
yeah, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. No big deal.
Tell us more about it.
Well, it's vinyl, and it's the new album.
Is it a like? Do you
Actually,
have it on display at the new house, or how?
Right now, I've just got it with the records, prepping to
To
play
rip
it. But
yeah.
I believe it was one of the like limited, or like I don't know if it's like
One of
a
the special
color,
ones, for
one of
sure.
the special
Yeah.
ones. So yeah.
I love when they do that.
Oh, me too.
That's very
So-
cool.
What color is it?
It has not been opened because
Oh, it's unopened
like
still. Oh, okay.
literally, we got home from all of our stuff, did that barbecuing last night, and me and Aaron like just chilled out last night, and then we've kind of been doing house stuff today, and
Right.
I didn't play any records this morning, so
That's
it's
fair.
still unopened, but it won't be for
Very
long.
cool. That's a very nice gift. Good job to the beautiful couple. As we continue here on the All Outta Angst podcast, right here on the Tuesday edition of your show on the Dufferin Avenue Media Network, inside the Sotner Concrete Services Clubhouse, as we continue to move forward. Shows coming up. Anybody got any shows besides the big one on June 7th at the Black Cat? This is going to be real quick, real easy. I lean on you guys for telling me when shows come around, so then I can be like, okay, well, maybe I can make that one happen.
I don't really know any in Saskatoon. I'm sure there may be some. I'm not.
Well, hey,
I'm so selfish
guys-
just thinking about my own
I'm
stuff.
telling you, I throw it out at you guys because I didn't do any of the work. That's it. So you guys are just as bad as me.
Well, I think I might just have to start doing a little homework before I come here. So then when you ask me
don't
that
need
question, I'll be like,
homework,
well,
We
actually.
don't need any of that either. I
Yeah.
just wanted to check to make sure we're not missing
And
anything.
I never did homework, so I'm not going to start now.
Who would?
As far as I know, there's probably shows, but none that I'm aware of.
Support local. That's what I'm hearing. Always support local. Uncle Mike, how's the shop going, buddy?
It's going good. Yeah, just kind of into that kind of busy spring season. We're pumping out a lot of summer spray as the bugs and mosquitoes and
I saw
whatnot
a great
come out.
commercial for the summer spray.
Yeah,
Which is very cool.
kind of fun and.
Were you making something
but-
today? It smelled so good in there.
I had just cut lemon ginger poppy seed soap.
Oh man!
and then-
Like when we walked, when we opened the
Yeah.
door, we're like, "Oh man, this is amazing!"
Yeah, and then was making summer spray as well. And it does linger in the shop. That's for sure.
It doesn't kill. Protects you from ticks too, not just mosquitoes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, again, not specifically developed, but a lot of the essential oils in it do have tick repelling properties.
Love that.
Yes.
And all natural. This is what
Yes.
people remember. Damn20 promo code. Be sure to support local, as we have a lot of really great, incredible businesses in this city that deserve to be doing really, really good. So we're always trying to help them get to that point. I do want to touch on a little bit of sports stuff today because I know we're not big sports guys, but we got about 10 minutes or so left to go here. And we are into round 3 of the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs. Question number 1 for both of you. Have you watched a single game yet of any sport?
No.
There was the Leafs game on
This is why I asked.
on Sunday night because I had buddies, they were coming over. I was like, "Well, it's Game 7 of the Leafs." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then my brother's like, "I'll bring over my Apple box and a TV and we can set it up." I was like, "Yeah, you do you, whatever."
Knock it up.
That game.
So-
I guess it's your birthday now.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I watched it, but it was on in the
You
same
heard it?
room that I was in.
So did you hear the throwing of jerseys onto the ice? Did you hear the rage that was flowing through Toronto?
No,
'Cause that
I mean,
was a 6-1 or
6-1 victory. And I'll break it down for you just to get you guys caught up. So Toronto is infamous for
losing in the game.
doing good and then losing in the playoffs. This year they came in, they were up 2-0 against the Florida Panthers. They're defending champion Florida Panthers. And everyone said, this is the year. All these guys are firing on all cylinders. Toronto's going to win the cup. Look at us go. And each time they do that, I can't help but have a little laugh inside. Be like, you guys don't understand how sports work. You cannot go out here and say, this is the year this team is going to win because you just jinxed them again.
Right.
Everyone
Yeah.
was saying, like, even the Simpsons predicted it.
Everyone, all the magazines, everyone said this is the team. They're up 2-0. They finally jumped this hump. They're going to the cup. Look at us go. And it was like watching a train wreck. It truly was, because the second people started to show that whole, man, we're getting, and to my sweet, beautiful favorite uncle on earth, my sweet Uncle Kev, I am very sorry. He's such a huge Leafs fan that we don't even like text during the
Right.
Leafs games. Like, he's a diehard, and I've seen him go through this struggle, this same song and dance over, and I feel so bad for him. But to all the people that said, this is the year, this team is built for this, like, please stop doing that to your franchise. Because the second you started doing that, all of a sudden, here comes Florida.
Mhm.
Here comes Florida, wins the next 3.
Did Drake put some money down on
$1
this?
million on the Leafs. And then who does Drake blame? Justin Bieber.
Well, leave Biebs out of this.
Thank you. Unbelievable. This is how chaotic and crazy this whole situation
I am a
is.
forever believer.
Here. So we sit there and we see a 3-2 series lead now for Florida, and everyone says it's done, it's over, burn everything. And then in game 6, Toronto shows up. Toronto wins a game. And not just wins it, they won pretty handily. And that got everyone fired up again. Oh, here it is. This is the team. We're going to go do it. That's going to happen.
It's probably the closest I came to watching the game. Troy was giving us updates through the jam for that game 6.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I believe it's a shutout by Toronto goalie Wall is his name. Anyways, then they go to game 7 in Toronto. And just it's not even a surprise. I compared them to the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns in the NFL, a horrible franchise, just garbage team. And every year they come in, they make some signs. Everyone says, this is the year Cleveland's got it all. And every year I say, okay. And every year, like to the point where there was a guy who used to text into the old radio station when I was doing a show there. And he said, this is the Cleveland's year. I'm telling you. I was like, dude, I'm telling you right now, you're going to just hurt yourself. He said, no, it's different this year. I said, okay. And then every time in about 8 or 9 games in the season, when he realizes they're garbage again, he's like, you're right again, I'm sorry. Until he finally stopped texting in with Cleveland stuff. It's the same thing with Toronto. They don't, and people like to, and this is what I wanted to sort of throw at you guys. People are starting to blame the pressure of living under the microscope that is Toronto.
Doesn't help.
This team shows up in a game 7 at home, and they lose 6-1. At the end of the second period, the home team is booing their star players off the ice. 5 minutes to go in the third period, they're throwing their jerseys onto the ice. Not only is it stupid, it's dangerous. Guys can trip on that. You could lose your star player for another year.
And like,
It's
how much
just
did that
horrible.
jersey cost?
About $400 or $500. And these people continue to just fill the soul of the franchise with rage and hate and garbage, everything that doesn't help anything. And when I watch that, do you think it's justified for a fan base to rage on the team, all in the name of, oh, I love this team too much. In my mind, if you love this team that much, you would never, ever treat it like this.
Totally. Well, I think like it's not like they're trying to lose,
Exactly.
right? Like they're friggin' trying
Yeah.
their best, right? Like it's I don't know.
They're
So
trying so hard, man. So hard.
Like when there's like something like, you know, when someone makes a lazy, you know, like dumps it, you know, in front
There's a
of
little-
you know, from your end, you
little
know, like,
screw up,
like
yeah.
those are the
Little
things
mistake.
you can get annoyed with, but you don't get mad at the team. And it's like, I get it, you're showing how much you love them, and
passionate.
it hurts your soul so much that they're, you know, not
Imagine
winning
their
for you.
yeah,
souls.
exactly.
But I don't honestly, it kind of seems like people are acting like babies. But
And now take that and let's throw this into it. Austin Matthews, who is supposed to be like the guy in Toronto, like we're just, and this is something that'll blow a lot of people's minds if you follow this at all. There was a debate, a legit debate, just a couple years ago of who was a better player, Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews. The big question was, you're going to start an expansion franchise. Who are you taking? Are you taking Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews? That was a legit conversation that people thought was a reality. And right off the bat, the whole reason this came up was because Austin Matthews scored 60 goals. And then because everyone was sick of voting for Connor McDavid, they gave him the Hart Trophy as the MVP. And that was during Connor McDavid's best statistical season up until that time. So what does Connor McDavid do? He says, really, that's what you're going to do to me? All right, he didn't even show up to the awards show. He's like, no, I don't need to be there for that. Next year, he went out and led the league in scoring. He said, if you want goals, I'll do that too. And he did that. So, and then, of course, MVP again. So these things happen. But the fact that we've gone from that conversation being held by all the big sports people to now where people are saying Austin Matthews isn't even a top 20 player in the league anymore. And then he goes and does his post game after the 6-1 loss. And he says, oh, you know, we had a lot of passengers on the ice. He calls out his teammates and says, they just aren't that good. And then Mitch Marner comes in and like seconds that motion. Like these guys are saying all the wrong things at the most volatile time.
I thought
Right.
you win as a team, you lose as a
Not
team.
in Toronto. Not in Toronto. My question is, will Toronto be able to bounce back from this? This truly feels like this is the end of this regime of the Leafs. It feels like they're going straight into a real rebuild. It feels like everything's just the worst it could possibly get. Can they go any lower, or do you think this team will bounce back? And again, this is coming from guys that don't have any
Haven't.
knowledge with it,
Yeah.
just from what I've just told you.
Well, I would say coming like with your captain saying that, you know, you've got passengers, I would say it's probably a good start to mix things up right from the ground up. So I would say rebuild.
Doing everything wrong, right? Like, I'm not crazy here.
It's just, it's so tough. Like, yeah, with a team like Toronto where you do have so much pressure from that fan base. Like, what type of team do you put together? Like, sometimes is it better to do a more of like the 90s Devils, you know, trap
Ooh,
style, you know, like that
gross,
kind of
yeah,
team?
boring
a little,
hockey,
a little
yeah.
boring, or
Yeah.
or do you get a
You go, yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good
That's
call.
for someone that knows what they're.
I like that. No, that was very well said. Uncle Mike, any thoughts? Any predictions, real quick?
Well, to my knowledge, with this team, I think they can always go up from being down.
That's it.
Um,
You know, last time they were any good was 1993, by the way.
right.
so you
So,
guys
like, are they, you know, are they just shitting the bed in the playoffs, or is it like all
playoffs.
year,
Just in the
or?
playoffs. Nope.
And that's kind of customary that they like, okay, they made it to the playoffs,
And then they blame everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a mid 2000s where they lost to Boston in the first round? Like they were like, what about
Bro.
something? And then didn't Boston? Did they win that year or?
2011, I believe that was the year, yeah.
But yeah, like one of those. You know, it's possible if things worked out, they could have had a
It's-
chance, maybe.
There's something in the water with that franchise, and I don't know what it'll be, but this season has just felt catastrophic in the way that they've reacted towards the fan base and the way that the fan base has reacted towards them. And this is where it really gets interesting, because we just talked about, you know, you're under the microscope of Toronto, you're the biggest franchise, you're all these things. You got a guy, former Boston Bruin, Brad Marchand, my guy. He comes out and says, I feel really bad for those players in the other locker room. If that team was in any other city, they would be so much more successful. But you, the fans, are the ones, and the media are the ones that continue to keep this team down by putting pressure that you could never imagine onto these guys. And then you get the other side of people saying, that's a part of the game, man. Like, you're supposed to be able to deal with pressure. You're a pro athlete. That's what you do. So now there's this whole conversation going on about, if you're a professional, do you let the outside stuff get into your head?
I just feel like everyone thinks that if you got the best team ever, blah blah blah, that there can be guarantees, but there's no guarantees unless it's maybe like a dynasty, like like the Patriots or like
The Red Wings
or,
forever. Remember that run they had?
Yeah,
They had
or,
like 20 plus years
yeah.
making the playoffs.
Like
It's
where
crazy.
there's like or the Blackhawks even, recently, like
Yeah, they
a
won
team like
3
that,
in
maybe
6
you can
years.
say they've got a pretty good chance of taking it all the way, but in general, there's just too many variables for it to ever, you can't guarantee a win.
That's it. And that's I think that's my whole point, and that's my takeaway from all this, is that, like, no, it's sports. We know this is how sports goes, but at some point you have to look at yourself and say, why is it this is always happening in the playoffs? Like, they were one of the top teams all season. Coming in there, they got all the superstars, they spend all the money, and then once it's time to play,
The human brain is funny.
it's crazy. Crazy to me, man. It's just legit crazy. I do want to say, did you have anything else to throw in that before I take it back over?
No, I don't think so. I don't have much to offer when
That
it
is a
comes
hard
to,
no.
hockey.
You guys, and I will tell, I know I throw this stuff
and
on you,
beliefs.
but there's so much value in getting someone's point of view that's not in it as much as like real super fans are. And so that's why I always like running stuff by you, because you guys can bring, fresh eyes to a situation that we're all so sick of.
Well, my eyes are quite fresh.
The freshest eyes, if you will. I do want to say a very special happy birthday to my sweet Scotty Villa, producer of the Green Zone. It is his birthday today. I sent him a nice little message. And he is such a sweet man. I love him so much. So a very special happy birthday to him. And little cherry on top. Coach Mazer, a guy who is, I feel like we haven't seen him in
I haven't seen
I know.
Coach
months.
Mazer in a
He's-
long time.
He's full on coaching right
Yeah.
now, like
Yeah.
between hockey and between baseball. And he just sent me saying, I don't want sports on AOA. Frig right off. Let's talk balms and calm creams and metal. I just wanted to get their thoughts on the Leafs, because they're sort of transcending sports right now, Coach Mazer. So just want to know. But thank you for listening, and hopefully we'll have him in for the All the Way Around table tomorrow. LB, why don't you go ahead and fire up Frankie for us, please? And we're rolling. Woo! That's a good one. And it's always so hard to follow up the best show you've ever done, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And having Gary Mason here made that one of the best shows we've ever done, not just of all that angst, but everything. So sometimes the sports will fit in there. And I did want to throw it in, since this is a show about the 90s decade, the greatest decade of all time. That's why I threw in that 93 team there. Dougie Gilmore, Wayne Gretzky. You don't have to say. If you want to really piss off a Leafs fan, just say to them, hey, I don't think Gretzky's stick actually high stuck anyone in 93, and they'll just lose it on. Because it was the most blatant high stick in the history of hockey, but the refs let it go because he was Wayne Gretzky. And then that was how the Montreal Canadiens became the last team from Canada to win the Stanley Cup.
What about that Tampa Bay, Calgary?
Oh, that puck was in, bro.
puck was
That
in.
puck was in. That's what I meant.
I
You
just
should do
wanna
a
say-
show of like things that would really piss off fan bases,
I like
eh?
that.
Yeah, those
Well,
little tickles.
and I find like Maple Leafs fans are like
The diehards.
the diehardest.
Original
I've got a couple
16.
buddies that like they.
them in Montreal. They were original six
Yeah.
teams, and we get it. We hear you
Yeah.
over there, garbage heads. But yes, okay, we'll get in. The point is that that passion for those teams passed down generation to generation.
Right.
Like it,
Yeah.
you wear it like a badge. Same with the Bruins. It's another original 16. That's why we're such huge Bruins fans, because my grandfather was a Bruins fan, and my father before him, and all this. Like, it goes down. It's very cool.
I feel like I got a Boston Bruin.
We better get out of here. Thank you to both of you for making it in and having birthdays, and it's just so nice to see you again and entertainment to your beautiful wife, Erin. Very nice to see you as well. And to LB, great job as always, brother. He's still got a couple hours to go, so he'll be in here grinding away.
And then he's going to get his 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah, so happy to tell us that too, hey? Good sleepers, man. If you're a good sleeper,
Must
I
be
hope
nice.
you appreciate it. Yeah, it's
you
just
better appreciate
so hard when you get older.
Diabolical app.
And thank you to all the guests that came through throughout today and yesterday. We really appreciate it. We're really excited. We'll be back tomorrow with the All the Way Around table. Remember, karma's very real. Do good things. They'll start happening to you. I promise. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Smell you later.
Love this good friend.